Today we're going to make a bread that we're going to cook in our cast iron skillet. I have in my bowl here 2 1/4 tablespoonfuls of dry active yeast, and to that I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water, 1 tablespoonful of sugar, and half a teaspoonful of salt. I'm going to kind of mix that up. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Just stir that in. I've mixed that in. I'm going to add 1 more cup. Now there's going to be up to a total of 4½ cups of flour that we're going to add and stir after each cupful. You want this to become thick, but you do not want it to become overly thick. And I'll show you what I mean when I get to the right point. Okay, I have added now my 4th cup of flour. And as you can see, as you mix that around, it's beginning to come together and be a nice, soft dough. And that's what I want. I don't believe that this is going to need another 1/4 to 1/2 cup of flour. When I look at this, it's just about right for what I want. In fact, it looks like it's kind of dry, but whenever you stir it, you can see it's really soft. And that's exactly what I want. Okay. I'm now going to cover that with a piece of saran wrap and put it into my oven, which I have on my bread proofing setting. And I'm going to leave that for 1 hour. Okay, my bread has been resting in the oven there for 1 hour. I have a 12-inch skillet, cast iron skillet, and I'm going to put about 2 tablespoonfuls, maybe 1 tablespoonful. And then I'm just going to move that around. I want it just on the bottom. I'm going to get my bread out. And as you can see, it is all nice and airy. It's fluffy. And I'm just going to turn that upside down and dump it into that pan. Now you're going to have to clean it out. If it sticks to your hands too much, just put a little flour, very lightly, a little flour on your hands. And then we're going to spread that out. Make that nice and try to get it even. Okay. Now I'm going to put plastic wrap back over it and let it rise for 10 minutes. 30. Make that 30 minutes. Okay, it has been 30 minutes. And as you can see, it has raised. I'm going to gently pull that off of there. It's a very sticky dough. I'm going to heat my oven to 400. And bake this for 30 minutes. But first, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to take some olive oil. Probably about That's about 1/4 of a cup, and about 1.5 teaspoons of rosemary. Now, I normally would not do this, except we're going to serve this with a seafood gumbo, and I want this to be able to stand up in flavor right along with the gumbo. And I'm just going to kind of dab that a little bit on the top. Don't get heavy-handed. Okay. And then I'm going to take sea salt. And this is going to be, maybe a teaspoonful. I'm not going to put that much, just a little bit across the top. Now I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes with the oven at 400 degrees as soon as I cut my slits in the top. You don't have to cut very deep, just enough to loosen it down in there. And this is to allow it to raise. It'll puff up and raise in the middle. Okay. Okay, it has been 40 minutes, and I'm going to take this out. It's not only hot, but it's really heavy on that big old. And you can see it's beginning to brown just a little bit. And that's what we want. We don't want it real dark. Let this set and rest for a few minutes before we cut it. Okay, we've let it rest for just a few minutes. I'm going to cut this. Nice crusty bread. It'll go good with the gumbo that we're going to have for dinner. There we go.